Howdy do, folks. Raymond the Amish comic here. I was gonna say I'm starting a little bit early, but it's 8 o'clock, so actually now I should be starting. Um, I am streaming tonight, live from my living room, season 2, episode 12. It's June 19th. It's Father's Day Eve. Uh, YouTube only. Actually, no. I'm on Facebook Live, but them peckerheads gotta pay $4.99 to watch on Facebook Live. Well, they can watch over here free. I don't know if anybody's there, but what the heck? Sparky's flying around. And I'm also trying to be live on Twitter. It's possible that I am live on Twitter. I'm out of tripods. I'm out of cameras. I'm out of microphones. I'm out of all that shit. Uh, so here we go. Uh, Thanks for tuning in. Sparky was here complaining aggressively about my trying to do too much shit at the last minute. And well, here we go. As you can see, it's Father's Day Eve, and fathers like to sit out under the stars in a comfortable chair. And fathers also like air conditioning, not getting rained on, and fathers hate mosquitoes. So there's all that shit to deal with. So there you go. If you are new to this show and you just got here, man, there's no way to explain this. It's not quite stand-up comedy. Uh, Introduce yourselves in the chat. Say where you're from if you want to, what you're drinking, how do you do. Send me money if you can. Best way to donate to my live stream is PayPal. I got a Patreon. I don't know if Super Chat works. I don't know any of this happy horse shit anymore. Um, but here we go. I do have my cheater notes right handy here. So Father's Day edition, Father's Day extravaganza, is most definitely a celebration about me because I'm a dad. Uh, so that's what's going on here now. Also, my beautiful wife, who's usually on the other side of this curtain, is upstairs with the feral cat because I have the silly happy chair. Now, we're all worked up as my beautiful wife quite possibly is not going to be here next weekend if she can be in the chat live from Massachusetts with her sisters. They're doing a sister road trip, and I'll definitely be whoring for donations to help so she has some fun money because Massachusetts recreational marijuana is legal, and I'm not quite sure how she feels about smuggling it across state lines. Probably not too good about that, but that's going on there. Also, greedily, donations coming in for this weekend also mostly come to Father's Day gluttony here. So spoil me rotten. Here's the water. Sparky might be in and out of this thing. This is a new setup, and I don't have my footstool up, and she was on the iPad a little bit. I think I got my last week when I was dicking around Facebook Live for the thing where I say I'm not going to be Facebook Live, and I played it back. Something fucked up with the microphone. I was like, and he probably thought I was dicking with him, which normally I would be, but that was accidental dickery. I don't know if any of this stuff is coming through or not. People on Twitter probably don't have a clue what is happening to them right now. We can't explain all that shit. If you're watching not on YouTube, well, there's a lot of these videos are on YouTube, and then you go back to the beginning to the first episode, season 1, episode 1, start of the pandemic, which actually isn't on there, so that's bad advice. You have to join my Patreon to get access to those. So let's talk about, again, this is a politically free zone. And I can't believe I had to say that, but I will tell you this. You see, this is, where is it? Right there. This is a cartoon of a shiny black sheepdog cat that invaded my dreams. I dreamed that we had 5 or 6 of these things, and they were really fucking big. They were like little ponies, and everybody knew what they were, and everybody was so excited. Oh, I can't believe you got shiny black sheepdog cats. But they scared the fuck out of me. So I cartooned this from memory, what was in my dream. and I put it on my social media, and somebody posted a political viewpoint on this fucking shiny black sheepdog cat. Now, if you see this and are compelled to inject your political ideologies under this, you gotta go get some fucking help. You're gone. You are fucking gone. You are fucking gone. That's worse than the Rorschach ink blots or whatever the fuck it's called. If you see that and it inspires any kind of political attack, you need fucking help. You need an intervention. That's all I have to say about that. We'll talk about that dream later on. Sparky's beeping away here. I don't know what maybe she's planning a sneak attack. I'm not quite sure what's happening there. So now, origins of Father's Day are pretty badass, okay? So when talking about Father's Day, one must also talk about Mother's Day. Mother's Day, first Mother's Day was in 1907 in a church in West Virginia. Now, it took the men 3 years to get pissed off enough and jealous about Mother's Day to have a Father's Day. So the first Father's Day was in 1910. So first Mother's Day, 1907, church in West Virginia. First Father's Day, 1910, a YMCA in Spokane. Is there anything fucking dumber about guys? Every fucking thing we do is fucking stupid. Who the fuck would have launched a man holiday at the YMCA in Spokane? So the kick in the Father's Day balls is that the fathers really didn't want to have anything to do with this. Fathers were manly and they didn't want to be domesticated, and they were worried that they would get Mother's Day flowers for Father's Day. So they launched this Father's Day, and the fathers are like, we don't want a Father's Day, man. Just leave us alone. Just leave us be. And then they fought about it for a couple of years, and in the late 20s, this shit's true based on me Googling and remembering shit and looking at my notes. So it's not word for word, but it's based on something that I found. So in the 20s and 30s, somebody else decided that the two things were like sexist, and Father's Day and the Mother's Day should be kaput and combined into one holiday called Parents' Day, which is actually a pretty cool idea, but I love history because Amish, we have no history. Like every day in the life of the Amish is like all of our history and all of our future. So I'm fascinated with this stuff. So the Great Depression was creeping up, and the retailer stores went nuts and said, you cannot stop Father's Day. We need to have people shopping. Don't take away Father's Day. So they really doubled down on whoring all the man shit. Tobacco, pipes, beer, sporting goods, neckties, socks, whatever the hell it is we want, golf clubs. Push that down their fucking throats because we're not giving up Father's Day sales. So that's amazing because Father's Day is kind of driven by the retail industry. So that's kind of amazing shit to me. And then also we have Woodrow Wilson signed off officially on Mother's Day, 1914. I think they're federal holidays, but if you put them on a Sunday, it don't fucking matter because people have off anyway, for the most part. So Mother's Day signed off on by Woodrow Wilson, 1914, and Father's Day, nobody would sign off on Father's Day officially until 1972, when we got Richard Tricky Dick Nixon to sign off on fucking Father's Day. How's that for a bucket of goo right there? So the fun of Father's Day also is that, and I love this about my wife and people, women that are much smarter than I am. When it's Father's Day and you have teeny tiny little kids, the mothers take it upon themselves to get the father something from the little kid, and the little kid doesn't have a fucking clue. Perfect example is, but actually, guys, you should exploit that because that little kid, this big, can't make a decision, so you can pick out whatever shit you want. They'll get it for you, wrap it up, and say it's from the kid. I got a very expensive pen from our daughter Lizzie, when she was teeny tiny little, it's one of my favorite pens in the whole world. It cost too much money. Very special to me because she gave it to me for Father's Day. Was not quite as special as she was too little to know that she gave it to me. So that's kind of badass too, right there. Plus, a little kid, when they get something and they're not little and they get it for the dad, the kid ain't gonna remember, but the parent always will. Remember that pen you got me? No, I was like 2, but you're welcome. So there you go. Uh, Hard to reflect on Father's Day without sharing some of my not really Father's Day mishaps, but also that my wife is beautiful and intelligent. My daughter, beautiful and intelligent. Our children are very intelligent, mostly because I don't help them try to think about shit. And our grown-up daughter now did fantastic in school, amazing grades, but every so often I would get a phone call from the teacher and they would say, Mr. Raymond, did you help your daughter with her astronomy homework? Yes, I did. And said, we thought so because she's way smarter than this. I'd like to call to your attention this thing about the loony eclipse. The loony eclipse is not really where you stand at the window and the shadow blocks you out and you happen to be a lunatic. That's not a loony eclipse. So if you want to do your daughter a favor, don't help her with her homework because we bumped her grade up a bit because we're like, oh shit, it looks like Lizzie's father helped her with homework again on the loony eclipse. So there's that. Boom, roasted. Moving right along here. Father's Day extravaganza. Sparky is beeping, but we don't know what she has in store for me. Oh, as I am one to be all over the place. I'm very sensitive to noise, except like if my ass is on fire, I'll be like the last person to hear the cracklings of my ass burning and shit. But let's see here. Oh, it's Clee's sister. Clee's sister, she made it. Clee's sister's in the house from Rochester. I don't talk about Rochester, but that's more fun to talk about in the winter. Uh, Brutal snow up there in Rochester, and they don't really give a fuck. They just doesn't close anything. You just go or you can't go. Clee's sister's in the house. That's great. Um, oh, I'm very sensitive to noise, and then I woke up the other day and I heard my neighbor Tom is badass. I love Tom. He's like a hippie, and he grows not marijuana that I know of, but plants, and he puts out hummingbird feeders and all this cool shit. Should I woke up and in indoor plumbing, I heard very loud, obnoxious talk radio, and most people would go, "What the fuck's wrong with Tom?" But not me. I was thinking somebody must have killed Tom and put on talk radio to cover up a crime. So the story would unfold that good neighbor Tom was off at work and his landlord brought in people to paint his porch deck in the back, and his 2 ladies were painting to talk radio. How the fuck do you paint to talk radio? Painting is like a rhythm. You got the music and you're jamming and you're just painting. And I was telling Bill, I'm not going to put up with this. Well, what did you do? Well, we had to get a lawyer. We contacted the lawyer, and then you can't fucking paint to talk radio. Plus, talk radio is very personal. When you are out there, this is the thing that people do a lot. When something about being outside and working on your home gives you entitlement to blast whatever music or entertainment you want way too loud through shitty speakers so the whole neighborhood is a victim of your whatever you're fucking blasting. It's outdoor home repair entitlement. It happens all the time. My first instincts are, I hope it's not that really sad country music. If you like that, hooray for you, but it just sucks the joy out of me. Now my new thing is, I hope it's not fucking talk radio, because when you do that, when you blast that to the neighbors, you might as well get a megaphone and make an announcement. Attention neighborhood, I will be painting my deck and you will all be listening to talk radio. Deal with it, bitch. That's really fucking rude. And I like to tell these people something also too. There's an invention uh, that they might not know about. It's called earbuds, earplugs. Put the fucking talk radio in and you hear this shit. I like to work with these with earplugs in because I can jam and sing along and people can't hear the music and they think I'm fucking crazier than I am. They're singing along with Ramstein and all this. I see where I fucked up there was if I would have thought about talking about this better, I would have prepared a Ramstein song to sing, which I don't, and now my mind's a fucking blank, but that's the point right there. Um, so there they go. It's how the fuck you can paint the talk radio, beyond me. How I wouldn't if I listened to talk radio, I wouldn't even want people to know. You know, just have people, well, they're listening to fucking talk radio. What the fuck's wrong with them? As I'm sitting here talking, I'm sort of like a TV version of talk radio, so maybe I should ease up a little bit on talk radio. So there's that. That probably, I thought that was funnier than it was, but it's too real. That's the problem there. As I look around my different cameras here and stuff, I see that in Twitter, I'm really low, and there's a lot of space up there. In Facebook Live, I'm off on the side, and YouTube Live, pow, boom, roasted, frame, everything's perfect where it ought to be. So there we go there. It was almost streaming live from a house where we're cat sitting. That's what this almost was today, because my wife and I are cat sitting. I'm allergic, and just this house has a whole bunch of cats. And what happens is this: if you go off and have fun, and you have different people coming in to take care of your critters, the critters, the cats, have favorite people, and they don't know when that door opens. They don't know if the owners are back. Hooray! That's who they hope for. Then, if it's not, then they hope it's their favorite cat sitter. And in worst case scenario, you go, oh fuck, it's Beardy. So this was the first day, and then they all came to greet, and then they all fucking went into hiding. Now, one of them, and I'm gonna say his name, one of them is a black cat named Gus. And Gus, I love Gus, but he's a little fucking demon. Last time we did this, Gus unplugged their internet. So I couldn't have even streamed live from there. He just fucking unplugged it. I don't know how he did it. And this time, Gus unplugged a cat webcam, which I didn't even know they had. So now I'm a little got the EBGBs about if they've been spying on me, on my wife, when we've been watching her cats. I don't think we did anything too weird. So it unplugged that, and then it unplugged a water drinking fountain down there too. Gus goes around and fucking unplugs shit. And then Gus went into hiding. Now the people who want us to sit told us that Gus would need some extra playing. We couldn't fucking find Gus. Gus fucking went into hiding. And then he was hiding under a bed with another cat, and the fucker wouldn't come out. And they got these tasting sticks, and they smell like tuna shit. And these cats go fucking nuts for him. These fuckers wouldn't come up to the tasting stick. So I'm there with an open tasting stick, crawling under a bed, begging Gus to come out, and then he doesn't. So now I gotta go put the tasting stick somewhere else. And I go back upstairs and I can't find Gus. Well, what the fuck? And then Gus, he fucking bolted past me, whoosh, like this, and then he disappeared. So, long story longer is, we've been there about an hour and technically we lost Gus. We just fucking lost him. So, my wife and I know we didn't let Gus outside. We think we know. But, we feel like we have to find Gus before we leave so we can see fucking Gus. I should have filmed for my unshunned, for Patreon, me walking around this house 19,000 fucking miles. I could have hatched 19 Pokemon eggs to find fucking Gus. I looked under the bed 19 times. I looked every which way but loose, but couldn't find this fucker anywhere. One of the cats likes us, and he sits there and he fucking laughs the whole time. totally entertained. Probably can tell in cat talk. You should have seen Beardy. He went up the steps 9 times, crawled under the bed. He was looking at here. He was looking there. We were actually freaking out. So at that point, we were thinking we might be doing this live stream from the cat house, as it were. So I had this genius idea to my wife would sit quietly on the couch, and I would go outside, close the garage door, and they would hear this, and then come back in, and that would fool them. So I did that. Didn't fucking work. So the person that lives there, the cat owner, loves golf, so I put on golf TV, thinking they'd think he was home, and then they would come down, fucking nothing. So now we're bringing out the heavy guns. I'm gonna do a mock leave. Keep my wife quiet on the couch. I will leave. The garage door closes. I will start up the car and actually drive it the fuck away. I drove a car away from a house to fool a cat, and it worked. And that fucking cat heard the car. It came out from under the couch where my wife was sitting on. The hiding fucking cat, went. You know how sofas underneath, they have that, it's like a thin layer of cloth so you don't see the boards and all that shit, and then cats can rip at that. The fucker was up in the fucking sofa the whole time. And I'm here to tell you, I love these people. They're so good to us, and their cats love us eventually. But work with us here. When you go away and you leave that note to tell us how to take care of cats, and if your cats are prone to hiding in the fucking sofa, then put it in the note. Watch out when you can't find Gus. He's in the fucking sofa. I don't think that's too much to ask. Fuck me in a bucket of goo. Tomorrow, I'll know to look in the sofa for Gus. How about that? Right away. Let's see. And then the people, they like reports. You know, you take pictures of the cat and then you send them off. But there's some place where you can't get a fucking cell phone signal. And I told them that if you want to get a cell phone signal where you're going, the World's End State Park, beautiful park, you have to go up either on the lookout point or drive towards the shore and wait till the fucking logs in your phone come back in. So there's also a spot up there in Eagles Mere where it is an actual spot where you can get a cell phone signal, but there's usually a line of people waiting to stand on that spot because that's the only spot there. So they're going to get hell from me when they get home or when they get their cell phone signal. So there you go. Cat sitters right there. More fun for me this week. My wife is more of a doer and a fixer than I am, but if she needs a hand, a little muscle or whatever, she would call me in there. So the light in the oven, that's the sound. So I don't know how or why, but my wife happened to have a light bulb, replacement light bulb, and then we went in there and we crawled in and couldn't crawl in far enough, so we had me crawling in there with a screwdriver, and then the thing, whatever I took off, it was a Pilsner head, no, it was a flathead screwdriver, and then that was connected to a whole bunch of other shit. So it just wasn't a thing where I could unscrew the thing and then put the bulb in. The whole big thing came out and scared the fuck out of me. And as I tried to push it back in, they went, and then there was little fucking fireworks in there and a little poof. And my wife screamed, "Ah, are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I think I fixed it." And then it turns out I did. With that explosion fixed the light. I mean, I guess we have to make sure a house doesn't burn down all the time now, but that's your quintessential Amish electrician right there. So there you go. There's that. Oh, also, if you're on Facebook Live or watching on Twitter, if you go over to YouTube, my lovely wife is in the chat, and I sometimes go in the chat. So over there, if you say anything, do anything, I can't see anything. And I don't, to be honest, I don't really know if I'm even broadcasting there or not. I think I'm going to get a new cell phone every couple of months, and then... I
think you're sideways on Facebook.
I'm sideways on Facebook?
I just noticed.
Well, there you go. My lovely wife says that I'm sideways on Facebook, and in the chat here on YouTube, if anybody wants to put in there, if you vote, should I try to straighten myself out on Facebook, or should I just say fuck it and go with what I am. Let's see what we can do here. I'm going to see if I can. When I stand up.
Peter and Paul are also with Susan watching.
Come on. Don't tell me that. That's amazing. All right, I'm going to stay sideways on. I'm going to stay sideways on Facebook because this news just comes to me. Clee's sisters is with Clee's brothers. That is badass right there. Oh my God, I should do a reading. Why didn't anybody tell me? Sorry, Facebook Live. I'm on the wrong side there. Just fucking flip it. Clee's sister and Clee's brothers are in the house. That is fucking badass. Oh my God, I might have to do a reading here. So there we go. Boom roasted. These peck reds are all up in Rochester. Let's see here. Oh, here's another problem with me. Just brings up the point here right now. Clee's sister traveling. Friends and family are traveling more and more. They're getting out. They're doing stuff. I'm happy for them, but then I get a little bit jealous and pissy also. My friend Crenshaw that I told you about, we've been trying to figure out a project to do. He went off to Maui, and he's doing a terrible shark movie, but he knows it's going to be bad. That's the fun of it, which brings me to the fun of Crenshaw. Crenshaw, well, that's such a fun life. Crenshaw invented this game called Film Frenzy. So when you're hanging out like you are now and you want to watch a movie, it kind of ruins the party. So Film Frenzy makes it so you can have a group of people together, watch a really bad movie, and play a card game that mocks the movie, and it's really fucking fun. This is the Action Adventure Deck, and I'll tell you some fun shit about this. This was gifted to me by Crenshaw, and this Film Frenzy, we were game testers. So we family were like we tested out and make notes and all that shit. This particular copy was supposed to be given to Neil Patrick Harris. That's right, Crenshaw works on a lot of films and TV, and Neil Patrick Harris has game night, and he was so excited to give this to Crenshaw to give it to Neil Patrick Harris, but I happened to see Crenshaw before he went to the Philippines quite a few years ago, and that's more stories there. So he gave me this. Now, Neil Patrick Harris doesn't really know that I have a game that was meant for him. Why would he know? Because Crenshaw's not going to go, hey, I was going to give you a game, but I gave it to Beardy, the Amish comic, so fuck you, Neil Patrick Harris. So I know it's true. Crenshaw knows it's true. This game is really fun. What this game will do is you take action movies, like Arnold Schwarzenegger movies and all that shit. Our daughter played this with her school friends, back 15 years old. 15-year-old girls don't want to watch shoot 'em up movies, but with Film Frenzy, they do. There's cards. Everybody get these cards, and the cards have actions on them. And when you find that action that happens in the movie, you play the card. And what happens is you wind up, and it's not a secret, you wind up cheering for shit to happen that's in your hand, whatever you're holding. First time I ever played this, my webmaster Scott, he's also in the Philippines, he went and never came back. He had a shoot him in the head card, and literally there, shoot him in the head, shoot him in the head. And then in this movie where we watch, guns would be right at people's heads. And instead of being worried about them, like you normally are in movies, we're cheering, shoot him in the head, shoot him in the head. And the fucker wouldn't shoot. In that particular movie, he wouldn't fucking shoot him. As it turns out, shoot him in the head was a bad card. Now, when you also play this, people try to cheat. I don't try to cheat. I'm just kind of stupid. One of my cards said, different plane. Different plane. So when they got out of a helicopter and went into an airplane, I tried to play the different plane card, but that's basically had nothing to do with that. So, Film Frenzy, Game Tester, Crenshaw's in the Philippines. I'm going to see if I can give you some bad shark movie. He's making a movie that would probably be good for this game. So that's going to be fun. We'll try to get some shit going on there. Clee's sister and Clee's brothers in the chat. That's so fucking badass. I'm sideways on Facebook. I charge too, $4.99. So if anybody paid, I guess I did refund their money. They could watch free on YouTube or pay and watch. Who knows? I'm probably upside down on Twitter. Okay, so we got this, we got that. Um, this is getting a little personal here. So when you are starting to have families and children and all that stuff, don't do what it's an older thing, but people used to always give all the guys like the same name. It'd be like Nutsy Fagan Jr., Nutsy Fagan 2, Nutsy Fagan 3, Nutsy Fagan Sr. Well, what happens is then when we all get old and insane and then we start to die, nobody knows which fucking Nutsy Fagan died. And that kind of just sort of happened to me. I couldn't connect the dots. I just fucking couldn't. Oh, it's Nutsy Fagan's son Nutsy Fagan, Junior, Senior Nutsy Fagan. What the fuck? So just no more using whoever has that name. That's it. And be done with it. Because the older we get and the crazier we get, and that's fucking it. Right there. So, bibbity bobbity boo. Oh, also, this brings me to another point. People are cheering me on to go and do stuff. You know, because they're doing stuff. You gotta don't live your life in fear. You gotta get back into the world. First of all, I embrace living my life in fear. So that's between me and the universe. But like Evil Cooper said to Gordon Cole on the prison phone in Twin Peaks season 3, I've never really left this world. I'm here. The problem with traveling around doing fun shit is it requires fucking money. I don't have fucking fun money to go. I want to go ride fucking roller coasters and do all kinds of shit. But this problem is the world is opening during what is typically my slow season or time when everything is fucking closed down. So fuck me in a bucket of goo. How about that? Which also brings me to back to Twin Peaks season 3. If you've been watching along, Twin Peaks is an extreme commitment. It's real fucking crazy shit. Our daughter and son growed up and watching season 3, and we're kind of trying to therapy them through them. Fuck you, Albert was in the chat last week. That's what that was all about. And then they went to send me a picture. There's an episode in season 3 that's real David Lynchy. It's real spacey. It's real smoke dope if you got it. It is an acquired taste. It's woohoo. It's fucking out there. Their cat loved it. Their cat loved David Lynch's Twin Peaks season 3, episode 8, I think it is. It breaks a lot of human beings, and it sat there and it watched it. It focused it, and I'm thinking that's really cool, but also it makes me really jealous, and it puts a little bit of pressure on me for our feral cat Mary to like something David Lynch like, and the only way that feral Mary could compete with Twin Peaks season 3 would be if feral Mary would like all of a sudden Eraserhead. So I've actually started watching Eraserhead with Mary last night, and I fell asleep, and she watched it, and she was still awake. But I don't know if that constitutes that she actually likes it or was locked in terror. So we're going to be bringing Mary along step by step on Eraserhead. We'll have some updates for that. Maybe we'll do a watch party. Like, we'll watch Eraserhead somehow on a private link and watch the cat watch Eraserhead. We'll see what happens. So, you shouldn't really use your cats to compete with David Lynch loving stuff, but yeah, fuck it, I did it. Let's see. TikTok update. The dogs, I told you about the 2 dogs that people give them new food, and they knit them hats that looks like the fucking food that they're trying to eat. It's the dumbest fucking thing. Can't believe these people have this much time on their hands, and I can't believe they actually knit hats. Ice cream cones. These fucking dogs got ice cream cones, and I can't fucking afford ice cream, and they got ice cream cone hats. Where's the fucking justice? Why didn't them TikTokers come here to my fucking house and make me an ice cream cone hat and feed me fucking ice cream cones? I'll fucking TikTok all over the fucking place for them. TikTok is a place where people torment their animals, and they do. TikTok is a place where snakes are cute, so you understand what's going on here. I wonder if there is an alternate universe, an alternate reality TikTok where the pets run it, right? And then they show videos of the human beings. Like the cats today would show TikToks of me running all around the house looking for them and fucking mocking me. Look at the fucking dumbass. He's going up and down the stairs 3, 4 fucking times now. Alternate universe, TikTok. You never fucking know. All right, there's that. This week on this week on things that I bought that are in my house that I shouldn't have bought because right now I'd rather have the money. Big Bang Theory DVD. These all stream now. DVDs have no fucking value whatsoever. And not just this Big Bang DVD. All fucking DVDs. I have a DVD collection that is now rendered fucking useless because everything fucking streams. DVDs, shit in my house that I shouldn't have bought, boom, roasted. More stuff in my house that I know how it got here and I really want to keep it. A harmonica. I don't even know why I have this fucking harmonica, but there's an episode of Twilight Zone, Hocus Pocus Frisbee, and the guy lies and he tells stories that are quite exaggerated. Nobody believes him. Then he gets abducted by actual aliens, and then he whips out his harmonica, and they go, oh, and they fucking melt away. And that really happened. And then he tells them, and they don't fucking believe him. So that's my Hocus Pocus Frisbee harmonica. I'll never fucking get rid of that. There's that. Put that. Here's the thing too. When this thing is over tonight, I got a lot of shit to clean up. I got stuff all over the fucking place here now. I've got too many cameras and tripods. Sparky's chair is set up and she don't want to be in it. So there's that. Oh, back to this. Where is this? Where's my cartoon? Son of a bitch bastard. I took my cartoon and I threw it. Shiny beast. Oh, there it is. I'm holding it right there. Okay. I already told you about the dream, so never mind that. Boom, roasted. Problem is, see my notes. It's in my notes to tell that story now, but I already told it. So, I guess maybe I should think about doing some rehearsals, but not gonna happen. If there's anybody who reads, book readers out there, we've banged through the Wheel of Time series and Brandon Sanderson. I like serial killing shit, but these are all like epic fantasies, and they have some killing in it and all that kind of shit. So I get too lazy to read, so we get the audiobook. Sometimes I read along, listen to the audiobook, and then I use Babumpsa, which if you're new to the stream, that is my code name for Alexa, which I shouldn't have said because now Alexa will do this. That's why I call her Babumpsa. So Babumpsa will play...
Sorry, what device?
Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 8:38 p.m.
Well, it's 8:38. She's not the boss of me. So, but we will use Babumpsa to have the audiobooks play in different parts of the house, and it goes rogue. Like there's a group called Living Room, and then there's a group called Kitchen, but then there's a group combining those two called Downstairs, and there's one upstairs. But once we do this, when we shut it off, Babumpsa will just start fucking playing the book for no apparent reason. I had music on yesterday, and Babumpsa decided my wife would love to hear the book in the kitchen. The first Wheel of Time book, we're listening to it again. And then my wife was all charmed with me. She said, what a loving husband I have. That he knows I'm out here doing dishes, and he thought it would be nice if I listened to Eye of the World in the kitchen. I should have just said it was me. No, I said fucking Babumpsa did it. Now she's enamored with fucking Babumpsa. That's how fucking dumb guys are. She says, oh, you're very welcome. I thought you'd like to hear the story, but no, fuck me in a bucket of goo. So there's that, which brings us to, I'm all over the place here. Traveling, okay? So my wife's going to be traveling this weekend coming, and she is stressed about it because we haven't fucking gone anywhere. Like, Kutztown and back is a big fucking trip. And what happens is when you're really stressed out about something, when you have anxiety and you are fucking tripping in the red, we all do it to each other. People or friends and family, when you tell them, well, I'm worried, it's like, what about Bob? What if I explode? What if I have to pee? What if this happens? What if that happens? And we go nuts. And then they to calm me down, they go, it's all in your head. And I know. Therein lies the problem. It's in my head, and I got to get it out of my fucking head. We have isolated where the problem lives, but we haven't figured out how to get it the fuck out of there. If it's in my head, it's real. It doesn't mean, oh, it's all in your head, just whatever. So the problem is not, it's all in your head. That is the problem. The problem is that it's in my head, and we need to find a new fucking place to put it. Somebody put on my fan page the Bermuda Triangle. That would be a perfect thing. You see that? But Boomsa is trying to hijack this show. Alexa, stop! Please, sisters, brothers, don't watch this show that often. They're probably going, what the fuck is the thrill, and when is this over? Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm still babbling here. My shows have been known to go way too long, and then if people have something to do, fuck it, and you just go and do it. So, when I was over in Ireland, Galway, it was like a hippie town. We had festivals set up and vendors, and one guy, he asked me if I smoked, and I said no, and he said, "Oh, I took you for a burner." Oh, that, and then we laughed about it, which is the thing because I've known my pot smokers out there, marijuana people. When you look at people, you kind of wonder if they burn crunks. That's what we call them. You don't say nothing. I wonder if they burn crunks. Or wherever they go. There's no way in hell they burn crunks. And then you get to the point, and people, I look like I burn crunks. And even if I didn't, if you ask me, I wouldn't go fucking Postal Susie. There'd be no problem there. But you look at people, pot smokers, drunk smokers, look at people and they wonder if those people smoke crunks. And I never really guess, because if you're wrong, that's bad. If you ask someone, hey, do you crunk it up? Do you smoke crunks? And they go, no. Well, now you just fucking confessed. Now you're a dick. And then if you're right, then that's fine. But the fun thing is, every so often you find out somebody is into crunk burning that you never guessed in a million years, and you're kind of proud of them. That's impressive. A straight arrow like that, I never took them for a crunk burner. So that's why I think it would be fun to work at a marijuana dispensary, because you wouldn't have to guess. Everybody coming in would be a crunk smoker. And then you could see how different they'd look, and you go, wow, fuck me in a bucket of goo. I can't believe that person smokes crunks. That person. So just, I wouldn't want to work there too long, but just long enough to observe different kinds of people that are crunk smokers, and of course paycheck would be nice too. So there you go with that. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Oh, I'm babbling here, and if I get too close to political, excuse me, but I realize something now is that social media has killed the word opinion. Nobody actually has an opinion anymore. Everything is stated as fact. If you took all the happy horse shit that's all over fucking social media, just like the Twin Peaks season 3, Dr. Amp, the fucks are at it again. If you just, whatever bullshit you were going to spew, instead of stating it as fact, if you prefaced it with, it's my opinion that bibbidi bobbidi boo, then you wouldn't seem quite so nuts. But with the social media has destroyed the word opinion, and now everything is presented as fact. And that is my opinion and also a fact. How about that? So there you go. Oh, so much shit to clean up here tonight. Moving along here. There is my Crenshaw notes, which I talked about already. Fuck me in a bucket of goo. I if you're like me, I've changed how I feel about different things depending on what's going on in my life. I never was a road rage person. Absolutely was never a road rage person. But now, coming home from cat watching today, we're sitting uh, two cars back. One, two. We were third car back from the red light. So somebody, when you're at the red light, there's a little bit of pressure there, especially if there's a line of cars. So when that light goes green, who's ever in the number one spot, who's ever got the fucking flag position, pole position, whatever the fuck they call it, when that's green, you gotta fucking go. You have to fucking go, or people will road rage you. Now, years ago, I would say, don't be a dick. But now I'm a dick because I'm like, you're supposed to pay attention when you're driving, even if the light is red. When the light's red, you don't say, "Oh, this is a time to reflect and think about what I'm going to say on my live stream, or maybe catch some fucking Pokemon critters." No, that is a position of power, and you could sit there and space out while three different cars don't get to go through the fucking green light because you sat there staring at a fucking green light waiting for a particular shade of green, like fucking celery green. So they road rage them motherfuckers. Just go, you fuck. When you're there, when you're the first car at the red light, own the responsibility of moving that fucking line along as quickly as possible. We, in the number 3 and 4 slots behind, who might not make it if you fucking jerk off there too long, thank you for it. Okay, so there you go. But dial down your road rage a little bit here. So here we go. Here's random stuff. This goes back to Clee's sister and Clee's brothers. I don't think they were here then because they used to live in this town that I live in. We have in this town that I love stinky fish trees in the downtown. They're going away, but there's still a lot of them, and you can't fucking believe it. My wife and daughter and family, fish smell makes them throw up. And you go outside and it's nice and it's beautiful. You go, what the fuck smells like old dead tuna fish? It's fucking trees. It is fucking trees. Trees should not smell like fish. Nobody goes to the fucking nursery and says, do you have any fish aquarium fucking sanctuary? Do you have anything that smells like fucking trout? No. And I'll tell you why. Our daughter got to the bottom of this. Those fish trees smell like fish because somebody had them and they knew they smelled like fish, so they put them on fucking sale. And they didn't sell them as fish smelling trees. They just said, we have these trees and you can get them for $10 a piece instead of $100. And of course, me trying to save money, fuck it. So then we have all these fucking fish trees. So when you get a bargain on a tree, make sure you smell it to make sure that tree doesn't smell like a trout's ass. Boom, roasted fish trees. You can learn a lot of shit from me. I got some helpful stuff here. I'm all over the place now. I'm also going back now. A friend of mine. Back when I used to work out at the gym, I'm sometimes so ashamed to be a guy. So this guy, he was a friend of mine, a good friend of mine. He was going through a divorce, and he was miserable, and he was trying to date again. But he had all these conditions. And I have to hear about him. He'd have all these conditions for whoever the new person was that he was dating. And I actually got a little fucking pissed off at him, and I mocked him there. Listen, why don't you tell me this list of conditions, and I will write it up as a contract for dating, like a dating contract. Give me the whole list of things, and I'll write them up. And then when you meet someone, you can whip out the contract and say, I'm very interested. I'm very attracted to you. I think we could have some sort of relationship, but I'm going to need you to sign the dating contract agreement. And I could even include in there for you, because you are smitten with your soon-to-be ex-wife, the return of the ex-wife clause would eliminate anything prior commitments in this contract. Would that make you happy? He goes, yeah, that's a great idea. I was fucking kidding. But I wrote it up anyway, dating contract, and I'm thinking that's actually a pretty good idea. Because when we do have stress and anxiety about anything, like again, my wife is amazing, but she does have some stress with this travel, Massachusetts. We've only been out of the house for an hour, and that's fucking 8 hours to get up there. Uh, I'm going to write her up a contract, and she can give it to her sisters. And here is, you can tell my wife for the weekend, but here is the list of conditions, and she will be in the live chat from Groton, Massachusetts, Saturday night. Boom roasted. I like that. All occasion condition contract. I like it. See, useful information here. So I am getting close to wrapping this up. I found an old piece of material. Let me see here if I can do this. I might do this anyway. Please, sister and brothers are still in there. Just wait here. There'll be a big delay. I don't know if I can get out of this thing because I'm all fucking tabled in. So here I go. If I kick over a camera, help me out here. See, I gotta get some old man reading glasses over here. I'm going over here. Where the fuck are those glasses? I don't know. Hang in there, everyone. Where the fuck did he go? Alright, here we go. I got him. I got him. I got him. Alright, now all I gotta do is get back in here and not kick anything over. And if I lose most of my audience, I don't care. As long as I have Clee's sister and brothers, I'll be a happy camper. I got my Harry Potters on here. Clee's sister probably has told Clee's brothers that I have acquired a couple of short stories that Clee typed on a fucking typewriter. And these go back to, I can't remember the date, man. These things go back to like probably the 80s, late 70s. I don't really know. I'm going to read one or two of these things. Bedtime story. Let's see here. In the chat, if you're in there, I'll let you pick. Fucking Clee. One of these stories is actually called Bedtime Story, Save for Later. And the other one is called The Song of the Giraffe. So I'll only do one tonight. So if you want to take a moment and put in the chat here, give me, how do they do it? Give me a number 1 for bedtime story and give me a number 2 for giraffe. Number 1, bedtime story. Number 2, giraffe. Or maybe that's a dumb idea. Let's see if anybody's coming in here. Let's see. How about 1 or B for bedtime story? That's good. Number 1 or B for bedtime story. Or number 2 or G for the giraffe story. I'll just wait here. Nobody's voting. I don't give a fuck. Just see if I can get some water here. Sparky's been hiding on this thing. If the one says bedtime story saved for later, which leads me to go. We got, oh, now the people votes are coming in. We got 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. 2 is winning so far. Giraffe is winning. I was leaning towards giraffe for the simple reason of the other one says bedtime story saved for later. My wife, that'll be some slutty bedroom talk. Bedtime story saved for later. Okay, so we're going to do this here. I'm going to be going with, and then whichever one I do, I'll probably try to do the next one, the other one next week. I will not do this justice because I didn't do a read through. So I'm not going to understand the characters. This is a fucking terrible idea. When you do a thing like this, you should read over the material, understand what the characters are. I'm just going to wing it. This is a piece called The Song of the Giraffe, written many, many years ago by my dear friend, who's no longer with us, Clee. So honored to have his siblings in the house here tonight. So here we go. And forgive me, Clee's family, if I don't do this fucking justice, because this is incredible. I'm going to send you peckerheads. I mean that in a nice way. Clee's sister tell Clee's brothers that peckerhead is a term of endearment. So here we go. The Song of the Giraffe. Once a giraffe had a song, but A gangster's kid shot a cop, and the law cracked down on crime all over the city. And nobody would touch hot jewelry and valuables, and the pickpocket who had stolen the Giraffe's song had to lay low. Um, I believe this story was written before Clee crunked any crunks. How about that? Here we go. Oh my God. He made a little money working for the city, killing cosmonauts to stop them from spreading this living jelly everywhere. And he was up in the space capsule having trouble with the parasite crab he used for the job. The parasite crab did the job quietly. Before that, the Soviet had time to get a feed through on the line to Earth. But the parasite crab was ready to divide and reproduce. And this left one extra parasite crab wanting a host. The stowaway thought fast. He spread some of that Soviet living jelly on the crabs and made a sound like a dog barking. The cosmonaut came back from the cabin, and the pickpocket swung from behind the door and missed. And that bubble had an air suit. See, that was a terrible read. But with that bubble hat on the air suit, this cosmonaut didn't notice him, but the parasite crabs with the jelly coating were now controlled by the will of the jelly, and under the influence, they mated with each other while the humans watched, disbelieving. Yes, Sparky, that's exactly what I say. That was a kind of a very disturbing part, and I didn't read it carefully, so it even got more disturbing, but I couldn't agree with you more. So the offspring came right away, and it had, see, some of this is really old, and this is actually written on a fucking typewriter. I can't believe this. So the offspring came right away, and it had that blown out intelligence like you expect from a hybrid, but it also regarded all life with compassion and fed on metal, because of course it would feed on metal. Why wouldn't it feed on metal? Now that wasn't so bad, but a thief roughed up a wealthy family in Kenya and was on his way out when he saw a grasshopper big as a police dog on the roof. And he went back foolishly to get the grasshopper for science. And the whole attic was full of giant grasshoppers, drawn by the sound of his voice cursing. Somehow, that hybrid jelly up in the capsule heard these giant grasshoppers so far away and had compassion for them, and using the higher mind, it made up the thief to surrender to those big bugs, and a reporter wrote that down. And it made a good copy, it made for good copy, and the news spread all over the world about the thief turning himself in, and violence being therefore apparently wrong, but the grasshopper shot up their own capsule, and it was a death cruiser. And he changed the word. It was going to be a death satellite, but Clee proper decided it should be a death cruiser. But the grasshopper shot up their own capsule, and it was a death cruiser, and went after the cosmonaut with his secret crew and attacked it with a high-frequency, airless chirping, which could bore through the hull of the ship. Man, fucking Clee, he was out there. Whew, that's weighty shit. That airless chirping didn't do any good either, because the hull was already chewed out by the, wait for it, metal-eating hybrid jelly. Withdrew all the air out, withdrew all the air out, withdrew all the air out, and would have killed the unlucky humans if they hadn't already been covered with jelly and consumed. And the Soviet Mission Control heard this over the open feed and blew up the capsule as a precaution. Case closed, they thought. Turns out, those giant grasshoppers didn't want to eat the thief. They wanted to drag him underground for slave labor, and their ultimate intentions involved complete economic subjugation of civilized human life. Only the living jelly had the same intentions, and the grasshoppers battled the jelly in a contest of intelligence involving money-making ventures into this entrepreneurship. So those great big insects offered for sale the only product they had, their, their intensive airless chirping. Intensive airless chirping, and sold shares in a corporation, but Living Jelly, now he bought a grade A municipal bonds and turned a higher profit. This, I wonder if that Living Jelly stock is still available. Every last giant grasshopper folded its wings upright to take flight forever off the face of the earth, air and square, when a voice spoke up. I'm certain that his intentions were for me to smoke crunks when I read this. It was the voiceless mute giraffe without song. I like that. The voiceless mute giraffe without song, waiting and waiting for the violence to stop so he could. I keep losing my place here because this stuff is so fucking amazing. Uh-oh. Waiting and waiting for the violence to stop so he could get his voice back, and driven crazy in the meantime by the lack of protein in his vegetarian diet. That's old Clee hounding future me here now, vegetarian me. That's badass. I get it, Clee, I get it. He pushed the plunger on a fusion bomb in a fault line to crack the Earth's crust and ignite the core. Of course, what else was he going to do? That was some dirty trick on the grasshoppers because they were goners, while the living jellies didn't die, just blasted into space, hurtling towards some other life forms. Now, the song of the giraffes blew up in the Soviet capsule, remember, but that jelly could hear that song even in the vacuum, and it drove them crazy. So he went into a refrigerated state of hibernated sleep, crashed into the sun in a final conflict between good and evil, and surrounded the sun and devoured it. Now we got some things scribbled out here. Like dominoes, the moon and stars went out, but that living jelly didn't care anymore, for he was pregnant, for he was pregnant and ready to divide one last time when some kind of squid or octopus made of plasma consumed him and was poisoned. The End by Mark Clee.